So it's much more than just regurgitating a fact or a thought, or being able to do to spit out a procedure on paper. That's definitely more 19th, 20th century learning. We're really focused more on 21st century learning, which is trying to help kids learn to become innovators and help them to collaborate. They work together on a regular basis and really begin to improve in their skills, improve in their communication. And by doing those and working on those kind of skills, it allows us an opportunity for them to grow and take ownership in what they're doing. And when they take that ownership, they are able to feel good about what they've accomplished, and they're willing to work harder for you. My philosophy is, the first one is that every child is different, and it's important to provide them with the opportunity to identify where they come in. So I always do plenty of pre-tests, a big overview of pre-tests, but also between each content area, to as far as then talking about different things to make sure I understand where they're coming in at, what they know, what they don't know, and then take a post-test to identify where they leave, and then, but also in between there, being able to differentiate for them based on those levels. So if I have a kid who already knows most of everything, why bother making that student sit there and listen to the same things over and over and over again that they already have mastered? Instead, trying to figure out how I can push them forward. In addition to that, I always try to finish up majority of my units with some type of performance task, kind of going with the understanding by design model of taking the time for a kid to take something that they've learned and apply it. For example, most recently, I taught to this particular student about learning how to use a compass and those kind of things in a straight edge without using any kind of things for angles and those kind of things, and understanding the foundations and the history of geometry. And this student then went in and identified particular postulates and theorems and those kind of things that she felt were the foundation concepts to understanding geometry.
Now we need to figure out how we're going to how much money is going to be with the garage, how much the add-ons.
Well, we need to make add-ons gonna cost. Well, we need to make it reasonable per square units, like with the house.
We're gonna have to use the square unit thing, but we need to draw it out to use the unit thing. So, what should it be? Because our house is going to be 6 by 4 by 2.
Well, we could make each add-on like a third or a fourth of the house. Actually, probably smaller.
Fifth or sixth.
Yeah, we could make each add-on a fifth of the house, but you can buy more if you need more.
We're going to use inequalities to make two-dimensional shapes and assemble them together to make three-dimensional buildings, and we're going to have a small city out of these buildings.
Building the pyramid for this group project, we're going to be using systems of equations and inequalities to figure out how much to feed the people that are working for us, how much we're going to do it, like the different possibilities of what kind of food we're going to give them, how much the food will cost. So that's all going to be based on slopes and incomes and inequalities and stuff. And then we're going to use proportions we're going to build a great pyramid, and then we're going to use proportions to do the small pyramid and like all the other small pyramids. So
it all depends on and it all depends on the idea of where they're at and what they're doing at the time. And they know that because I've put all the time and effort into identifying where they're at, they know that I'm not trying to waste their time and making them relearn something. So they're willing to give me the effort because I've put all that effort in for them. I've just developed that level of respect with them of a give and take. And they've, so as far as all the different levels, I also had them in pods for a reason on these tables so that they can have an easier opportunity to collaborate, because communication is definitely a key to 21st century skills. The first thing I would do is I would suggest to get together with a mentor who has a little more experience with that, whether you've been teaching for 10 years, 20 years. Really, if you want to be a great role model for your kids, you have to be willing to say things change and things need to be adapted to improve, and be willing to take the time to check in with someone who knows a little bit more about it than you do, and be willing to sit down there and ask them questions and learn, and maybe attend a class. You can also read books on differentiated instruction or understanding by design. Those are great ones, and there's plenty of books out there that are starting to come out now on a little bit more information on ideas for 21st century learning. And it's not just I also do some things with technology, but that's a big misconception that people think that technology is 21st century learning, but it's really more about taking the kids to more of really using what they've learned, not just going step by step and telling you how to answer a problem, but really telling you how to apply it in the real world.
This video presents examples of promising classroom practices in 21st century learning. We at the Council on 21st Century Learning have been engaged in lively conversations with educators across Colorado and beyond about transforming K-12 education. This video extends that conversation, moving from abstract ideas to concrete examples. It's easy to talk about the need for change, but far more difficult to actually create the change from schooling to learning. We see that change occurring, and we can learn from those who are leading the way. These examples come from the Colorado school districts of Aurora, Colorado Springs, and Denver. We refer to the practices as promising because they demonstrate progress toward 21st century learning. Like the practitioners themselves, we think they could be better still. We hope that you will find them useful as you consider your own efforts.